little like notification saying it's streaming. Now look, it's not really streaming. No one can see it streaming. What I do, it's just a lot easier to save it by streaming it, and then I just move it over into your playlist. And we'll go over that here in a second. Little like notification thing. Okay, great. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to go through the Blackboard show. I'm going to go through the class. I really talk about the structure and how really to be successful in this class and what I've seen students, the action students take to be successful in here. So let me share this screen. Okay, so this is my Blackboard, what it looks like. And when you click on this class, which should be the college algebra, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m., you get something that looks like this. Now look, you need to start here. If you're in the class today, the 2 students that are in the class today, you don't have to watch the introduction video. You can if you want. But this video will be a lot more detailed than that little introduction video. But there's a start here. It's just a little introduction. If you cannot see this video, I have put the link below it. YouTube sometimes, actually it happened once over this break. It didn't like the fact that I was streaming it and saving it. I'm not sure, but you couldn't access the video through the embedded aspect, so you had to actually use the link to get to it. So just realize if you can't see the video, there's links right below each of these videos. Announcement, there's nothing there right now. So let's talk about the schedule. So this is a Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. class. So we will have class every day on Zoom. So I will be here in the mornings, bright and early, as peppy as I can be, to answer any and all questions. Now, what's different about this class than a typical lecture, other than it being on Zoom, is that it's actually a flipped classroom. So what that means is you need to watch the lecture and attempt the homework. Doesn't mean you have to complete it, but attempt the homework before the next lecture. So if we look at the just this week, so today, introduction, no big deal. But before Thursday morning, I need you to have watched 1.5 and 1.7, which they're both pretty short lectures, and then attempt the homework. Now in each video or each lecture video, I'm going to give you the homework, and I'll tell you 1.7 doesn't even have homework. It's just 1.5. And so I want you to attempt it. And if you can't get through, if you know like, hey, I don't have enough time to get through all of it, don't just start from the like, kind of go through each section, a little bit from each section in the homework, not just starting from the beginning and seeing how far you can go. That way you see kind of all the content. So then when you come into class on Thursday, I will answer any and all questions you could have from 1.5 and 1.7. Now, what this also here, I'm going to hold up Julia. One second. Hey, Julia, are you there? Just turn your screen on if you're there. Wait just a minute. Julia, are you there? Okay, I'm going to assume she can hear me. Oh, there you are. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, good. So, and again, what I was just saying was this is a flipped classroom. So you're going to need to watch the lectures and do the homework before class. And what that means is during class, during the Zoom session, I don't record the Zoom sessions, okay? This will be the only Zoom session I record the entire semester. It's just to get us off on the right foot, okay? The Zoom sessions are meant for students that show up and ask questions. The lectures, I've got these all recorded over the last, 2 years now of doing these online courses. I have enough lectures to watch, okay? And if you don't like that lecture, I bet I have 2 different lectures on the same topic. So if it's just not making sense, just let me know. I can probably find another lecture on it, okay? The 8 a.m. sessions are really set aside for questions. And that's what the flipped classroom means. It's really set aside. Now look, if you get behind, that's fine as well. I will not be upset. Let's say on next Thursday, when we cover 2, and I say we cover 2.2, you'll have done 2.2. If you're like, hey, I've got this question back from 1.5, will you answer? Yes, that's what the Zoom sessions are for, okay? It's kind of a mixture of flipped classroom / tutoring / all that. It's like it's not a structure you're probably typical or that's a typical structure that you're familiar with in a regular classroom. Okay. And the reason we can do this is because of technology. It works really well if you put in the effort. And you might say, oh, well, it sounds like I'm going to have to do a lot more work. Well, not really. I mean, you're going to have to set aside time to watch the videos and the lectures, but you should be doing that already in essence with doing the homework. Okay. So it turns into a really neat resource if you really use this correctly. Now, if you don't watch the lecture, you don't do attempt the homework, and you come to class, you can do that. That's fine. But I'm not lecturing. Okay, I'm not lecturing at 8 a.m. In this class because the lecture video is already out there. Really, what I'm doing is answering questions, and you can listen to what other students ask, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But just realize I'm not going to sit here and teach like I typically teach. Now, sometimes I might teach by what question you're asking me. I'm about bounce off the topic a little bit, or stay on topic, but bounce off of what you're saying. But it's not a typical lecture in the morning. It is a flipped classroom. Okay, so let's look at this though. So the schedule, so 1.5, 1.7. So notice in 3 weeks, now we've got one day where we're just going to review, which is nice. So we're going to catch up here, review, and then on the test will actually be in Blackboard. You can't see that right now because there's nothing in the test folder, but the test will be on Blackboard and it will open that day. And you will have that day to take that test. It doesn't matter when you take it that day, because I know I have some students that are taking this class completely online, which you can. You do not have to come to these 8 a.m. sessions, but I'll tell you, it helps you out tremendously if you actually show up. The probability of you passing is much higher by showing up at 8 a.m. and asking questions. That test, so test one will open, I'm not sure what day that actually is, but it'll open on that Thursday. It'll be open from 8 a.m. probably until midnight, and then you'll have all day to take it. Now it's still going to be an hour and 15 minutes. I'll give you 75 minutes, which is a typical class time to take the test, but you can decide what time that day you want to take it. But it'll be open from 8 a.m. to midnight on that day. Now, the final's a little different. So week 15, we've got one day to actually review for the final, which is nice. It's right after week 15, and I'll scoot down here because it really is part of the schedule. But you can take your final either on May 7th, 8th, or 9th. Now, the only difference about the final is it is proctored. The other 5 tests are not proctored. You can take those wherever your heart desires. But the final is proctored. And you can, if you're in town, we have a testing center on campus. You can use it. I've got a link to the testing center here. And you need to get a hold of Miss Anderson, who runs the testing center now, and have her set up a test. It can be on any of those days, 7th, 8th, or 9th. We can set up that final. I don't think you can do it this early in the semester, but I will remind you as the semester goes on. And so those 3 days, I think she's open 8 to 5. I'm not sure on the times, but once we get a little closer there, I'll remind you. We can go over that again. That's not a big deal. But the only difference is the final has to be proctored. The first 5 tests not proctored. You can take those at the house or up here, wherever you want to take them. But the final is proctored in the testing center. Okay. Any questions so far? You 3 that are in Zoom right now. You can give me a thumbs up. I can see your faces. Thumbs up works. I like thumbs up. Okay, cool. So let's go over the syllabi now. The fun stuff. So first off, my contact information is at the top. Email is the best way to contact me, hands down. It goes to my phone. I'm probably not going to check it at night because that's my time to not be at work. But I'll check it in the morning. I'll get back with you. That you can call me. My phone number is here. But a lot of times I'm in and out of my office. I actually have 2 separate duties on campus right now. I'm a faculty member, but I'm also doing this we're switching over to a new system, a behind the scenes system. I have a responsibility there as well. So I'm not always in my office during the day. But if you email me, it'll get to me definitely because it's on my phone and I check my email throughout the day. If you have not heard from me, if you send me an email, unless it's on the weekend, If you send me an email and I haven't got back to you within 24 hours, email me again. I want to apologize right now if that happens, but it's because I saw the notification and I thought, oh yeah, I'll get back to Kaylee. That's not a bad question. And then I went on with my life and I forgot about Kaylee. And I know that I'm a horrible person for forgetting about that notification, but I know we've all done that, right? But so I'm really good about getting back to students. And if I haven't gotten back to you within 24 hours, it's because of something just goofy like that where, oh yeah, I'll get back to her. I'm in the middle of doing something, I'll get back to her. And I forgot. Okay, so my office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9:15 to 11:15. So that's right after this class. And what's on Tuesday, Thursday anyway, it's right after this class. And what's nice is I'll stick around. So if you wanted to ask me questions in my office hour, we can do it through Zoom. It's not a big deal. So I'll stick around and answer any questions that you have just right after class. If you want to get a hold of me in my office hour, like if you want to come into my office, that's fine. Just let me know. Just shoot me an email and say, hey, Dr. Shirley, can I show up at Tuesday at 10 o'clock to ask questions? Yeah, no big deal. I'll be here. And the reason I want you to shoot me that email is just to make sure I'm not in a meeting. Like I said, this other role I have on campus, it's putting me in a lot of meetings. And also I'm faculty senate president this year, and it just causes a lot of meetings as well. So it's just so you don't get disappointed if you come up here and you're like, you're supposed to be here in my office in his office hours. And yeah, I should be. And I'll leave a note if, for whatever reason I'm not here. But that way you don't make the trek up here for that and you realize I'm not here. But also, I want you to utilize my office hours. I am here like 99% of the time. I'll have one or two meetings that actually block something. I want you to utilize my office hours. If you've got questions, please get in touch with me in my office hours or just shoot me an email. I am very open. I do not get upset. I promise there's no dumb questions. Or if you do ask a dumb question, I promise not to make you feel dumb. And because it does happen, and whenever someone says there's no dumb questions, that's just not true. If you've worked retail, you know that's not true. But please ask. The worst thing you can do is really go through this class and just kind of feel lost. Now, you might feel lost because of the content can get kind of tough at some points, but don't feel lost because of just the structure of the class or you're not sure what's going on. If you've got that type of question, someone else does as well. And a lot of times when students ask me more like overall questions, like, oh, wait a minute, how does the testing work? I'll send an email out to everybody because maybe I didn't clarify how, the testing aspect that we do. So please ask. It is a life lesson to ask when you're not sure about something. Okay, Fridays, I have office hours from 10 to 12. So it's a little different on Fridays. I put it at 10 to 12. But I'll tell you, if you need me at like 2 p.m. or 3, I'm usually pretty open. Just send me an email. If these times don't work and you really need to get in touch with me, if you're not understanding a concept, please get in touch with me. I make myself as available as I can for students. Now, from a boss, no, but for students, yes. Okay, the textbook, you do need the College Algebra 6th edition. Now, this edition is pretty old now. And if you go to Amazon, hold on, let's just go to Amazon real fast. Amazon, boom, let's look at this. Hold on. Whoa. It should be way cheaper than that. Hold on. Here we go. Notice $4.65. If you click on the new and used offer, all I did was copy and paste the ISBN, guys. So I took the ISBN, copied it into Amazon, and you can get this book for $4.65 and $4 delivered. So under $9, you could have this book. Now that'll take a few days to get in. It won't be until the 2nd to the 8th. Now there might be some that come in quicker, but you need the book as soon as possible. Like that, I mean, there's homework, they need to get done by Thursday. But I know that this is a lot better price than probably other places. So I wanted to go over that with you, that this is an older edition. So, and we kept it. There's actually a newer edition. They changed the cover. Dr. Blitzer always uses a chili pepper. I don't have a new one. It's just a fancier cover. but all the sections are the same. Math doesn't change that much. Okay, actually, it hasn't changed in a long time. College algebra hasn't. So just realize that's an option. And if you need a temporary book, I think I have like 2 in my office. If you want to come up here and be the first 2, but the only rule is you have to give them back to me when you're done using them. Actually, I might have 3 because of that new edition, but I've got like 3 different editions in my book or in my office that you could use that just for short term while you're ordering yours. Okay, no big deal, but there's just no reason to spend $100-something on this book whenever you can get it for like $9. Okay, let's go back. You can read all this. It's just about course outcomes and what we're going to cover and how it relates to the general ed outcomes and the bigger picture and all that. Okay, so attendance, regular attendance is essential. Look, I know that students are going to be taking this seated or not seated, but online, like they're not going to come to the classroom. I totally get that. Now, what happens is I know when you click on the lecture videos, I have like a statistics tracker on there. So I can see that you clicked on them and that is your attendance. So I can see when you go in and you click on the video. Now, it actually shows me how long you've clicked on it too. I'm not worried about that. It's just the fact that you've done it. So we have to turn in an 11-day head count. So by the end, really kind of the end of next week, we'll turn in an 11-day head count. And if you have not clicked on a lecture video or you have not come into my class at 8 a.m., I have to administratively drop you. So I'll send an email about that too. You'll see that coming if you have not come to class or clicked on anything in the class shell. So that just has to be done within the first 11 days. I don't do late assignments. So your final replaces your lowest test score. So if you on that next test 1, if you forget about it and you get a 0, just realize your final will replace it. Now, if you make like all 100s on the test and you make an 80 on the final, that final just won't replace your lowest test score. Okay, so it'll just be on its own. But each test is worth 100 points, including the final, unless the final does replace your lowest test score, which typically happens in this class. Usually there's one low test score that's kind of abnormal for whatever your average grade is. Yeah, there's the grades. Look, I don't take up homework. That's not, I don't think that's really collegiate. So the homework's on you. It's really for you to understand what's going on, that you make sure you understand the content in that course. If you want to do all the homework, that's great. If you want to kind of scatter around the homework just to make sure you've done everything and you get it, that's great as well. I wouldn't do like 5 questions and stop. That's not going to do the section justice. But if you want to just skip around and make sure you hit the beginning, the middle, and the end, that'll probably be fine. The final exam, we went over that already, but it will be proctored, and I'll talk more about that whenever we get closer, probably to the middle of class. Kind of around spring break, I'll start hitting it more. That's more for the seated stuff. The mission, no cheating, come to class. If you do have a disability, please get in touch with our student services coordinator as soon as possible. Of course, I'll make all accommodations that need to be made, but I just need to know about them. And what happens is really the line of communication is student services coordinator and then to me. And if you want to contact me directly, that's fine as well, but you'll have to like file it through the student services department. There will be no harassing in here. I guess you'll get muted if so. I guess you're free to use tobacco because we're not on campus and you will be in your office or in your house. Same with drink technology. For technology, I would buy a TI 83 or an 84. Now, what's nice is you can get away with that Calc 84 app. I'll put that in the chat. Hold on a second. Chat. If you go to like the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and you put in Calc 84, it's a free like kind of TI 84 simulation calculator. The only issue is the final. You will not be able to use your phone for the final. So if you might need to borrow a TI 83 or 84, if you don't want to buy them, I understand completely not wanting to buy an 83 or 84. I think 83s are probably going for around $50, and 84 is probably still around $100, which is crazy. But you'll need, if you can borrow them for the final, you could get away with not purchasing one by using that Calc 84 app in your phone. And that's fine. It doesn't bother me if you want to use that. I'm all about saving some cash. It's ridiculous how much college costs. Inclement weather, we probably won't have that issue. I will say though, I know and I wrote the dates down, February 8th and February 10th, which are coming up, next month, I have to miss because I'll be out at meetings. Now, what we'll do is I'll just have lectures those days that are posted. So we won't have the Zoom class. So you'll still be expected to watch the lecture and do the homework. When I get back that next week, we'll just cover any questions in the Zoom lecture. So I have to be out those 2 days. So we won't have the 8 a.m. Zoom sessions on February 8th and February 10th. I will email you to remind you again, but I want to let you know now because we will be out those 2 days. And inclement weather, I'm not sure with the virtual stuff because we'll probably be out, but we've got, all the lectures are in there. We'll go through all of them. Okay, the last thing, which probably is the most important, honestly, to passing this class, unless you're just uber confident in algebra, it's the tutoring center on campus. So we have a tutoring center on campus. It's in Dryer 208. So the room that I'm in Dryer 312 is my office. 208 is the middle floor. And if you take the elevator, the tutoring center, right when the doors open on the elevator, it's right there. And Miss Althea is there, Miss Daniels. And she's been there for a while. She has helped students pass this class that I did not think could pass the class. And it had nothing to do with ability. Passing this class has everything to do with effort. And if you're willing to put in the effort, and she will help and guide you. She knows what I think is important on the tests because she's been doing it so long. And she's a really good advocate. She's a great advocate for students. If she'll come and ask me questions too. If she sees something that doesn't look right, she's really good about contacting me and keeping me on the straight and narrow. But I'll tell you, if my sons took this class and they asked me, hey Dad, how do I pass this? I would say go see Miss Daniels, set up a weekly meeting with her, and that way it kind of keeps you on track. So you're going to be on track from class, you'll be on track with her, and then you've got another resource outside of the classroom, outside of my office hour, that you can go and meet with her. Okay. And I don't know the hours. They're typically 8 a.m. to 3 or 9 to 4. It's somewhere in that kind of pocket, 8 to 3 or 9 to 4. And she's good at what she does, and she's been doing it for a long time. And she's a great resource to have on campus. Okay, gosh, I haven't talked to this long in a long time. Give me a second. So we went over the syllabus. We went over the schedule already. Oh, extra. That's not a big deal. I just put in two little helpful things on solving by factoring and square root method. You're going to see that in the 1.5 section, but that's not a big deal. It just keeps getting copied over into my shell. Okay, the lecture videos. Here's every single video we will have, except for today's. I'll put it in there as well. But every single video we're going to have or need for this semester. And this is actually a playlist. It's not a video. And I put a little instruction on how to do this, but you just click this very top right button and it brings down the entire playlist. So this is everything we're going to cover this semester. This was an extra one. You don't have to do that, but it's already in here. But it's in order. 3.4. Make sure it's in order. Yeah, 3.4. Everything's in order. 1.5 and 1.7. You can see right there. You click on them and then boom, you're watching it. And what's nice is, hey, it's a nice shirt. So what's nice is you can watch it all through Blackboard. You don't have to link out to YouTube unless you just want to link out to YouTube. That's not a big deal. Okay. But all the lectures are right there. And again, when you get to the very end here, I know on 1.5, I'll give homework. At the very end, but I give homework. See, it's right there in the bottom right. So do and that's the homework for 1.5 and or actually for just 1.5. So that's over for 1.5. And I don't take it up. Someone's still going to watch this whole video and they're going to email me and they go, where do I input the homework? It is not for a grade. You do not send it to me. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. Are there any questions from you three? I don't mind answering anything if you got something that's not making sense. Okay, hitting all the questions that students typically ask. Now, again, the test, once we have the first test, it'll pop up. You'll see this. Right now, you can't see anything because it's empty. Now, the Zoom information, which you three, of course, know because you're in here, that links you to my Zoom class. And this will be the same link too if you email me and ask to meet up on Zoom. It's the same link. It's not like this is just for my 8 a.m. class. It's just the generic link to get to my Zoom. It's I don't know what they call it, but it's just a generic link for a Zoom meeting. Final exam information went over that. Okay, this is goofily important because we have this issue every now and then on campus and in Blackboard Shell. So this isn't just for my class. This is for the other classes as well. Okay, when you click email Dr. Shirley, and you'll have this button for every class. Okay, you click email me, and you're like, I need help, all caps. Okay, and then you go, Dr. Shirley, I need help. And then whatever your name is, Jane Doe. And hopefully the question's more specific than that. When you hit send, it actually sends it through email. It's through Gmail. So I actually get a Gmail email, okay? It's not in Blackboard. So when I reply to this, it'll be in your school email. Because sometimes students get really upset because they think instructors aren't replying to them, but it's in your school email, okay? So just go check your school email and you'll see I replied like, what do you need help with? Why did you send it all caps? Why are you yelling at me? Okay, but it'll be in your school email. So just realize that when you send an email through the Blackboard, email Dr. Shirley button. And then lastly, just your grade book. Very straightforward. Once you click on it, it'll be your grade book. It'll have your grades. And if you want to see what you missed on the test, we'll go over that probably after the first test, but you click on the grade over here for the test and it'll tell you exactly what you missed. Now that doesn't show up till after the due date, but it'll show you exactly what you missed. That way you can study for the final. Okay. God, that was a lot of words. I feel like there's nothing worse than like listening to yourself that long. Okay. You three, we went through the Blackboard show. We understand it's a flipped classroom. We know how to get a hold of me. We know how to, the tutoring center is the best thing on campus to help pass this class. It's probably the top 3. We know how to get the book, how to get it cheaper. We know how to get the free calculator, but then it won't work on the final. And we know that I'm going to be missing at least 2 days in February. Okay, that's kind of a good outro. Do you now have any questions? I'm going to go over one little thing if you don't have any questions, and then we're going to be done. It's one little thing I go over every semester, almost every semester. Because it's good questions that I get asked. It answers a lot of questions that students ask me kind of throughout the semester. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. So I got to take a roll. I forgot to do this at the beginning. Kaylee. If you guys go by a different name, let me know. Julia. Okay. The most common question I get asked every semester, especially in this class, is how do I pass this class? I want to pass. I have always struggled in math. College algebra is a little different. Sometimes I'll get students that just need to take it and they've already probably taken, like you're coming out of trig or something in high school, and you'll see that it's a lot easier than a trig class because trig class is a higher level math, but you got to have a math class to graduate, right? So a lot of times though, I also have students coming from remedial math, or they've been out of class for 10 years or 20 years. And they go, Dr. Shirley, I know this isn't my best class. I know that I'm going to struggle, and I just want to know how to pass. Okay, so hold on. So I'm going to give you the hints here. How to pass college algebra. Okay. Actually, before we get rock and roll, let me get this on. That way you can kind of see. You'll see in my lectures I use a lot of the document camera just because you can see it. Okay. So here's the question. And you guys can let me know if I asked you, just from going over our little lecture right now, if you come and ask me, or if another student says, how am I going to pass college algebra? What's the first thing you will tell them after watching that 30 minutes of me going on and on? What's something you would tell?
Testing center.
What's that?
Use the testing center.
A tutoring center. Yeah,
tutoring center, not testing.
Okay, that's okay. Take advantage of the tutoring center, right? Again, I don't remember the hours. It's usually 8 to 4. It might change a little bit. Tutoring center. What's something else that we can do to pass? Oh, Julia, were you saying something? You're muted. You can type it in.
Ask questions.
You know what? I'm going to frame that a little different. I'm going to say ask questions. That's fine. That's a good way to put it. But also, like, be present, right? Like, don't just show up. I mean, guys, we can show up and we can have our screen on, and we can probably like put our phones under our screen and watch something on Netflix instead of paying attention to me, right? And I would never know, but that's not going to help you in this class. So ask questions, which really is part of being present. Perfect. What's another one? What's something you should always do in every math class, especially math, because you're going to get every day from every lecture? Awkward pause.
Take notes.
Take notes. Sounds great. Take notes. And I'll tell you what's nice about taking notes is you're really making the lecture a personal lecture for you. Because if it's something really easy, you're probably not going to spend that much time on it. But if you're like, oh my God, I've got to write that down. And what's nice about the lectures being videos, you can hit pause. Because I'm going to tell you, this is what I do for a living. I really enjoy teaching. And so a lot of times I will go pretty fast in the lecture. And what I've noticed students enjoy is hitting the pause button so they can write down and catch up as they're going. So if there's something that I talk about in the lecture and you're like, man, I need to really remember that, underline it, write it down, underline it, and then come back. There's something that you can't get if it was a regular lecture per se. I mean, you can ask me to slow down, which is fine in a regular lecture, but a lot of times it's a little harder because there's a flow going in a regular lecture. Okay, so tutoring, ask questions, take notes. What's something else? What do you always need to do before the next lecture? What do you need? Yeah, do the homework. I'll tell you, you really won't know what you don't know until you do the homework. Again, I've been doing this for a long time now, and I can make a lot of difficult stuff look easy because I've just done it over and over again. Okay, you really won't know what you don't know until you do the homework, and then you go, holy crap, I don't know how to do that. He did it really easy. I mean, you guys have watched probably like a professional sport or something like that, and they do it and you're like, oh wow, golf looks really easy. They just hit the ball and it goes 300 yards. But then when you go out and try to hit a golf ball, it is not easy, right? And it's because the professionals have done it over and over again. You got to do it yourself to figure out you don't know how to hit the golf ball, okay? Man, what's something else? What's something else maybe you've done in another class that would probably work well with an algebra class, or you've done another math class? There's no wrong answers. I mean, okay, let me, I'm going to paint the scene here. You're watching the lecture video. That made sense. You took notes. You're in the homework and you get stuck. And let's say it's midnight. I'm not going to respond to a question at midnight. Okay. And you're like, man, I don't, yeah. You're like, Julie, you're like, I don't want to stop, whenever you get that momentum. Yeah. I'm going to say use online resources. I promise you are not the first college algebra student, and you won't be the last. And I also promise you're not the first one to get stuck on whatever concept. And whenever you think, oh, there's no way if I Google this that it'll show up, it will show up. Okay. Whatever section that is, like in 1.5, we go over solving quadratics. I think it's even titled that. And if you're like, okay, I don't understand how to solve quadratics by factoring. If you put that into the Google or the YouTube, you're going to find 8 million examples of it. Now, I'll tell you, if you wanted to narrow it down, you can even use our book. The guy's name is Blitzer, Dr. Blitzer. He's the author. If you put like Blitzer solving quadratics or something like that, it'll be more like he does it if you want to kind of stick to, because there's just so many different ways to solve, math. And look, I don't care if you realize that there's another way you like solving better. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what way you do it. I just want you to get it right. Okay. So I can't offer every single way to factor a trinomial. It's just, it would take forever. So if you know how to factor a trinomial and you like your way, just use it. Or if you find some way online, use it. The whole goal is that we get it done and we get it correct. Okay. So you can check it with the homework that you're getting correct, but I don't care how you do it. And you'll see that a lot of times with online resources, they won't do it exactly like I do it, which is fine. That doesn't mean it's better or worse. It's just another way to do it. Okay. Oh God, he's still going. 6. What's another thing you could, okay. I mean, and now we kind of mentioned this too. I'll give you, we're in that scenario. You get to homework question. You took the notes. You don't really remember. You didn't see that kind of question in the notes. You tried to use online resources. It didn't work. And you can wait. Maybe you can't make it to the tutoring center for whatever reason. What's something you could do here that we talked about in the lecture?
Like email you?
Yeah. Email me. Email Dr. Shirley.
That would kind of go with the ask questions, yeah?
Perfect. Yeah. These kind of go together. I'm thinking ask questions is more like in class and email is kind of out of class. Yeah. But no. Asking question is important. And you're right. This could be 2A, email Dr. Shirley. So if you get stuck and it's, midnight, I'm not going to respond at midnight, but at least it lets me know where you're at. And when you come into the Zoom class the next morning, I can answer. Now, if you're an online student and you won't be in the Zoom, I can email you back and help you out with that answer. Sometimes what I do is I scour the internet and I find a video or something like that to help you, because I'm a very visual learner and it usually helps that way. A lot of times, like emailing back how to answer a math question is hard unless it's something real small. It's better just to kind of send a little video on it. Okay. Gosh. Can you guys think of something else? It's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tutoring center, ask questions, take notes, do homework, use online resources, email doc. Okay, I'm going to give you one that in a seated class, it works a lot easier. It's a little harder for these online classes, which is a bummer. But if you can make a friend, and I know not all of us are extroverts. If you can make a friend, or if you know someone that is taking this class at the same time, maybe not even my class, it could be another math class. We're all kind of on the same sections as we go. But if you could make a friend, it does help. You kind of keep each other involved, and you can kind of, like, how I said there were no dumb questions? It's a lot easier to bounce a dumb question off a peer than to like the instructor, because you're like, hey, hey, Kaylee, is this a dumb question? And then if Kaylee's like, no, that's not a dumb question, that's a good question. But then if Kaylee says, but you need to ask it, she might have been just being really polite, being like, no, that's a dumb question, but I want you to ask it because I feel the same way. And if you both aren't getting it, that kind of says like, hey, it really needs to be asked, right? So making a friend helps for all kinds of stuff. Okay, what's something else that's more of a structure thing that can help in any class? Like if you took first year experience, I'm not sure if you guys took it. I know they went over this in first year experience, but what's something important when it comes to taking classes?
Building a routine.
Yes, routine. I'm going to put routine / schedule, Julia.
Okay.
Routine. Look, especially with the flipped classroom, you're gonna need to schedule time to catch up on the lecture videos and the homework, right? So whatever works for you works. Now, if you're like, well, this is a Tuesday, Thursday class, right? So if you're like, hey, I don't have time Tuesday or Wednesday to watch the lecture, well, then you're going to need to catch up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? And then be ready for that incoming Tuesday. So set it in your schedule. And I'll tell you, this is even more important if you decide to take this fully online and not show up at 8 a.m., which is, I don't think is a good thing for pass rates. It never is. But setting a schedule throughout the week that you're setting aside for this class, which I know can be difficult, but it's extremely important. It kind of shows your priorities. Now, if there's no way you can do that, get with me and we can see how we can handle it. So if you need help with this, just let me know. We can work on that to see how we can really set that up. Yeah. 9. Do you think we can get another one? We've made a friend. We've set a routine. We're going to email Dr. Shirley or use online resources if we get stuck in the homework. We're going to take notes, ask questions, and utilize the tutoring center. Is there something else you guys can think of?
Periodically take breaks and come back to looking at the notes.
Yes. Take a break. And I'll tell you, I think, the one thing about these lecture videos, sometimes they are an hour long. And I know I wouldn't be able to watch an hour-long video, especially myself talking about math, okay? There is nothing wrong with pausing it, doing something, whatever your thing is that you do in between things, and then coming back and then starting it again. You're not going to lose all the memory from that first 10, 15 minutes, okay? And just take a break, especially if you take notes. It makes it a lot easier because that way you are more engaged in the lecture. So, but take a break. It's hard to sit here. It's hard right now. I mean, guys, we're 40 minutes in and I'm done. I'm over this. Okay. By over this, I mean, like, it's hard to talk for 40 minutes. and I don't mean I'm over it like this isn't important. This is important. It's just hard to be engaged for 40 minutes, especially through a screen. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to take a break and pause it and go back and, whatever, if you need to, I don't know. Don't do a vice, but if you have a vice you need to do, like whatever, go do it, come back and then, and then keep going, whatever keeps you sane to get through it. Okay. Cause some lectures will be like smooth. You'll be like, oh, wow, that was an hour. And I didn't even realize it was an hour. And some lectures are going to feel like it lasts 3 days. Okay. And that's just the nature of the beast. Okay. So nothing wrong with taking a break. Okay. Do you guys have one more? Do you have one more, Julia? Are you sitting there looking at a list of things?
Yeah, I'm just looking over what you're writing.
Okay. I'm going to stop there. But here's the thing. I want to go over the fact that there's nothing that bothers me more as a math instructor. Okay. I'm going to show you. I'm going to switch over to my face now to show you how animated I get on this. There's nothing more that bothers me as a math instructor when students come to me and they say, oh, I don't know math because my parents don't know math. I can't do math because I had a shitty second grade teacher. I shouldn't have said shitty. I can't do math because, this is my favorite. And this one bothers me to know it. I can't do math because I'm a girl. I've heard that one before. It's kind of going away because at least people aren't saying it out loud anymore. Okay. There's nothing that just bothers me more than that. And I'll tell you, whenever I was in grad school, it was like all females and they were so much better than me in the grad department. So it's definitely not because of your gender. That's ridiculous. But I want you to realize that if you look back at on all of these, 9 items, they're all about effort. It's about how much effort you can put into it. Some of us are going to have to put more effort in, again, because we're coming from a background that's more remedial math. That's more, we did struggle. We breezed through high school and didn't really take it serious, which is fine, whatever. Or we just struggled. Maybe we didn't have good math teacher, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I'd say those are excuses. That's not the right way. It's just how you wound up here. Okay. But Some of us are going to have to put a lot more effort in than others. If you came from, again, like if you came from high school and you were taking like pre-cal trig, maybe calculus, you're going to take this class and go, oh my God, this is so easy. Well, yeah, of course, because it's a lower level math, and you're going to be more set to take this class. But if you're coming and if you know you're struggling, you're going to have to put forth effort. And those are action items on effort. So if you're like, how do I pass this class? You put in effort. Well, how do I put in effort? You hit those things. Now, look, I know you don't have to hit all of them. I can tell you the important ones. Doing the homework's important. Asking questions important. Taking action when you get stuck. And it doesn't matter if you go to the tuning center, you email me, you ask a friend. So those are all actions if you get stuck that you can take. Now, the tuning center, you can set that up even if you're not stuck, just to stay ahead of things. You don't have to make a friend. If you're an introvert and you hate people, that's fine. I'm married to one of those. I'm the extrovert. She's the introvert, and we work well together. But I understand she would not want to make a friend in a math class. But it does help. It helps if you have someone else up here going through it. And then, routine and taking a break are always good things as well. But those are all about effort and knowing yourself and knowing what you need to do personally, which is part of personal growth. So then when you're, which a lot of you guys are out in the real world anyway, but once you do, some of you guys get to the real world, you know yourself a little more. And when you get stuck, what you need to do that's helped you to conquer tasks. Okay.
And that's a great point. If I can add something onto that.
Hold on. Let me get my marker out. I'm ready, Julia.
Okay, so for those who are introverted and for those who do struggle with the efforts, short motivational videos do help.
Yes. You know what's funny? Yeah, no, you're right. And I like doing this every semester. I don't get to do it every semester. Sometimes I don't have the time. But yeah, motivational videos. I think it's the first time motivational videos have been brought up. But I remember one semester prayer was brought up. And I thought, you know what? Yes, Jesus doesn't hurt in the math class. But yeah, motivational videos. The Just Do It video from Shia LaBeouf is always a good one. And yeah, Julia, I agree. Sometimes you need that motivation, and the Rocky video is always a good one.
I mean, sometimes effort is just beyond. You run out, and it is gone.
Well, and I'll tell you, sometimes it feels like and really a lot. If you hit that point, you probably need to take a break, right? I mean, if you're
right.
Yeah, if you're like, I can't do this anymore. Look, guys, I know I shouldn't say this because I'm a math teacher, but if you look at the big picture, it's just math. I'm not sure where your situation is in life, either in here or at home, but like if you've got a screaming kid that's hungry, like don't choose math over that. You can get back to math. If you're hungry, eat. We should put eat. Make sure you eat. That would be a number 11. But like if you're hungry, go eat. If like learning to prioritize is important, but like you can't do the effort if you don't have the base needs met, right? So, and one of those is if you're just stressed out over other stuff, don't let this stress you out anymore. If I'll tell you, if you want to get in touch with me when that kind of stuff happens, let me know. Just kind of let me know where you're at. Or look, if you're sick or if things happen in life, email me. Just let me know. Because if you haven't been to class in 2 weeks, I'm not assuming anything, but I just don't know what's going on. Okay. So if something happens, just email me and let me know where you're at. You don't have to give me every little detail. I probably don't want to know that, but just let me know what's going on. And that way I know, and we can figure something out, make an accommodation, something. Okay. No, I agree 100%. Sometimes your effort jar is empty, right? And usually if your effort jar is empty, take a break. Take a break, take a nap. Ooh, take a nap. Taking a nap is a good one. That would definitely be on my wife's list. Take a nap, go pet the dog, take the dog out, go for a walk, something like that. You guys have dogs? That's important for me to know.
Yes.
You get bonus points for animals, brownie points, I should say, for showing an animal on a camera. I will give you all the brownie points. And if we kind of get to know each other's animals, I probably won't have any lectures at the house, but if I do, I will show you my 13-year-old Westie who hates people and things and hates me, but that's fine. I don't care. I love her.
Well, okay. You could always show it through a picture of your cell phone.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. You know what? We're almost out of time. The next Tuesday or Thursday morning, I will try to find a good picture of Zoe, and I'll show you on my cell phone. Okay.
That's my daughter's name.
Uh-oh. It's a good name. Now, do you
Yeah.
spell it with the like?
EY.
Yeah, the EY. Yeah, because I've seen that German. Is it the German E? The two dots.
IEZOEE. There's all sorts of Zoes.
Really? Oh, I've seen it with like the ZO and then like that. I
Two
forgot the-
dots.
Yeah, the two dots because it's like a German or Russian spelling.
Mhm.
It's
But
called an umlaut.
Yes, and is it German?
Some of them are. I know umlauts are common in other languages, but I took German for 2 years, and I know that it's a main part of their alphabet.
Yeah, like their vowels, right? And because
Is
it's how
Yeah.
that
it's
called
pronounced.
then?
Not all of their vowels have it, but they do have it for separate vowels because some words have it, and for some reason some don't. But they're pronounced differently.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
What
Okay.
what did you say those two dots were?
They're called an umlaut, the 2 dots.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause this just so people at home don't have to watch us talk about dog names, and daughter names. But give me 1 second. Hold on.